organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
On this edition of Daily Iowan TV, find out how students are traveling the world for next to nothing.
Spooky or sexy? See what Iowa City residents are saying about this year's costumes.
And in sports, the head hawk is back at the mic.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Hello and welcome to Daily Iowan TV. I'm Mary LaPlaca.
And I'm Kara Bimschlager. Students are finding a new way to travel the world and get it almost completely paid for. A program called Camp Adventure is increasingly beginning to rival study abroad programs. Camp Adventure offers 12 hours university credit through UNI for their programs along with many other benefits. I looked more into the story. UI junior Rachel Spector recently returned from a summer in Okinawa, Japan with Camp Adventure and just learned she will be spending winter break in Germany.
I mean, it was crazy. It was so surreal. I was just sitting in lecture and it was like oh, by the way, would you like to go to Germany for winter break? And I said, yeah, like I would never pass up that offer. I'm so excited.
Camp Adventure, an award-winning program that has drawn in 18,500 college students, offers its participants positions in the camp counseling or aquatic fields, travel expenses and housing completely paid for, as well as a living stipend of $175 per week. With programs in locations from Japan and China to Italy, Germany, and Belgium, even Hawaii, this offer is allowing students to travel the world, gain professional experience working with children living on a military base, and even gain credit for classes. Participants like Rachel work with the Department of Defense, the world's largest employer, and receive professional training in child development fields on top of the obvious cultural experiences. This is Kara Bimschlager, Daily Iowan TV. Camp Adventure has been holding informational meetings throughout the semester and is currently taking applications for fall and summer terms.
It's not a new controversy. Genetically modified organisms may help farmers grow bigger and better crops, but some people just want their food to be natural. Daily Iowan TV's Megan Horahan shows us why the issue is still a stirring debate.
Shelley Squire starts her day at sunrise to begin work on her 51 acres of organic farmland. GMOs are prohibited in her process of organic farming from the USDA.
GMOs are potentially dangerous to the health of animals and humans. I don't think enough testing has been done to verify the safety. I also think that in the long run they're potentially more chemical dependent than organic crops.
She uses a variety of other methods such as field rotation, mulching, and seed diversity to compensate. According to Squire, it can be labor-intensive, but it's worth it to know with confidence that our crops are safe to consume. European countries and some counties in California have banned the use of GMOs altogether. World Food Prize winner from Monsanto Robert Fraley said in a statement, "We want anyone with an interest in nutritious, affordable, and available food to have complete, accurate information."
80% of the food made in the United States is made of genetically modified organisms, but it's not required to be labeled on our food.
The opposers of GMOs push for labeling and government regulation, which would give the transparency Fraley suggests. The Farm Bill is one of President Obama's priorities before the year ends. The World Food Prize and Monsanto may just be the sprout to this conversation. This is Megan Horahan for Daily Iowan TV.
Iowa City Police are investigating an armed robbery that happened around 8 p.m. Monday night. Two men approached a man near Melrose Court where they took the victim's coat and a Juicy J ticket. After the robbery, the men fled on a moped and headed north. No witnesses or suspects were around the scene of the robbery, but Iowa City area Crime Stoppers are offering a $1,000 award for more information on the suspects.
As October wraps up, what can we expect in this last week? Our weather forecaster, Brianna Jett, tells us more.
Iowa SJMC.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere? I joined, and now I'm in Los Angeles, California, interning for Conan O'Brien at Warner Brothers Studios.
I joined, and now I'm working in public relations for diabetes research.
SJC.
Hey guys, I'm afraid I have some not so fun news. It looks like it will be a wet Halloween. You might want to look for a costume that comes with an umbrella. But before I get to that, let's take a look at tomorrow's weather. Tomorrow morning will be in the lower 50s and bring a 70% chance of rain. The afternoon temp will then rise to about 59 degrees. The night temps will sit around 60 degrees. Tomorrow night, though, also means a 90% chance of thunderstorms. And while the rest of your week will be drier, the rain won't stop until after Halloween on Thursday. The temps will be around 60 degrees with a 60% chance of rain and storms. I suggest not wearing a metallic costume outside. Friday's temps will fall to the lower 50s, but the skies will begin to clear. Saturday's temperatures will sit in the lower 50s, but the sun will be shining by the afternoon. Sunday and Monday will be partly cloudy, and the temps will remain in the lower 50s. Well, that's all the weather I have today. Back to you guys at the desk.
And leaders from both sides of the 21 ordinance debate will participate in a forum Wednesday night hosted by the Daily Iowan and UISG. The forum will be held on the second floor of the University Capitol Center at 7 p.m.
Well, Halloween is coming up. What are you going to be?
I think I'm going to be Barbie this year. What about you?
I think I'm going to be a minion. I actually think Barbie is going to look perfect with your long blonde hair.
I hope so. I think it'll be fun. Now let's see what everyone else is going to be for Halloween this year. Rebecca?
Hey guys, and welcome back to Street Chatter. As you all know, Halloween is fast approaching, and the costumes are the talk of the town. Even though not everyone is going out to celebrate the holiday, many still have opinions about what everyone else is wearing. Take a look at what students across campus have to say.
Well, I wanted to go as a sexually aggressive frat bro because that's obviously the scariest thing in all of university setting. But I don't know.
I was actually just looking on Pinterest. There's a lot of good ones. I mean, just the ones that people make themselves. Like one that I saw a lot of was like little kids dressed up as chunky. I thought that was kind of cute. But I just think ones that people make.
I actually have always wanted to dress up as a gypsy. And I don't know why, but I think the costume would be really comfortable. And just, you know, there's so many different things you could do with it.
Sexualized Halloween costumes are causing quite the controversy. We asked UI students their opinions on the issue.
There's a larger social, implication going on here. Why are these girls dressed like this? Why do they feel the need they're dressed like this? And these girls are human, and we have to keep that in mind.
It's not necessarily unique to Halloween culture. It's just like when girls dress in this highly sexualized way, they should feel empowered, but it gets scary in this town to walk away to walk around in certain ways and not be aware of the risk that you're taking when you do sexualize yourself in such an objectified way.
Sexy or not, I hope you all stay safe and have a very spooky Halloween.
Iowa football back on the program tonight.
3 days after the Hawks' Big Ten victory at Kinnick Stadium, the Black and Gold are back in the Hayden Fry Football Complex Tuesday afternoon.
Our own Whitney Blakemore and Jordan Calbialis are standing by in the sports studio with more. Guys?
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio, doubling up once again on this Tuesday edition of the program alongside Miss Whitney Blakemore. I'm Jordan Calbialis.
A lot to cover tonight, Jordan, especially with Kirk Ferentz addressing the media for the first time since his Hawks managed to tame Pat Fitzgerald's Northwestern Wildcats over the weekend. But before we move to the Badgers, let's take one last look at this past weekend's action with Alyssa Bergamini, who puts a bow on Iowa's first home Big Ten victory of 2013.
Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald and his Wildcats are here today at Kinnick Stadium to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, both teams currently hold the same record of 4-3, but with star running back for Northwestern, Venrick Mark, out with an injury, Iowa will have much more time stopping the run game. While Mark's absence did impact the running game, between 5 ball carriers and 225 yards on the ground, Northwestern still found a way to get it done. And another injured key playmaker for the Wildcats was quarterback Kane Coulter, who felt uneasy coming into the game with an ankle injury. But repeatedly, he brought the Northwestern offense back to life. And despite the Wildcats outgaining the black and gold 329 to 305, Iowa's defense found a way to tame the Wildcats' running game by taking down Coulter and his team.
You know, we just knew we needed to hold them, and somebody had to step up and make a play. We're not sure who it was, and they ended up making a mistake, I think, with the option. They hadn't made a whole lot of those all game, but, if you play long enough, those things happen, and luckily Desmond was in a position where he could capitalize.
The Iowa true freshman Desmond King speaks best when he's on the field, and his recovery of the ball gave the Hawkeyes a chance to win in regulation.
Yeah, he's a confident player, maybe sometimes too confident, but he's a confident guy. He just doesn't seem to be overwhelmed by it, and turnovers ended up being a big part of the game, certainly. Our last one really it was a good shot by Jake.
It took more than 60 minutes for the Hawkeyes to prove that they deserved the W for the day, and even with the 17-10 defeat, C.J. Fedorowicz, who had the game-winning touchdown, says Iowa's offense is disappointing to him.
As an offense, we got to put up more points than that. We shouldn't be making it a game and then the fourth like that, especially in the third quarter when we had the wind in our backs. We got to put up some points. So, we're going to work on that this week, and hopefully we can finish games out.
Iowa improves their overall record 5-3 and will take on the Wisconsin Badgers next weekend at Kinnick Stadium. Alyssa Bergamini, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Thanks, Alyssa. And as we mentioned earlier, Kirk Ferentz and his company available Tuesday afternoon at the Hayden Fry football facility.
A lot on the agenda for Ferentz to address. Up first, what to expect from a Wisconsin team that the black and gold haven't seen in a couple of years. The Heartland Trophy is on the line. Coach, what should we expect?
So, yeah, offensively, they look very similar. Not identical, but very similar to what they've been doing, and for good reason. Then defensively, they did make a wholesale change there. And it's a very different team than their 34 team, which is unusual in college football. But they play it very well. I mean, the bottom line is both sides of the ball and their special teams are really well coached. They play hard. They're very disciplined as a football team, and I think that's been characteristic of their teams there for quite some time.
If the Hawks want to put themselves in the best position for the upset, the Hawkeye defense will have to hold the nation's 8th best running offense at bay.
Whitney, a classic case of an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, with Phil Parker's defense only allowing points on the ground twice in 2013. Best mark in the country.
The leader of that unit, two-time Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, James Morris, who Ferentz couldn't speak highly enough of Tuesday afternoon.
He's a more experienced player. That's the biggest thing, and that there's nothing like experience for guys that use it, and one thing about James Morris, I mean, anything he has, he'll use, and experience is a part of that. So, some guys just kind of float through life, so experience isn't that big a deal, but that's not the case with him. He's pretty one of those guys that, goes back and reflects on everything, I think, and studies and improves from it, so.
Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have on tonight's show. But for some more from Tuesday afternoon's press conference, be sure to tune back in tomorrow for interviews with several members of the Black and Gold as we ramp up our coverage ahead of Iowa's 3rd trophy game of the year.
For Whitney Blakemore, I'm Jordan Cabiellis. Mary, Kara, back to you at the desk.
All right, thanks, Jordan. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a first look into what you'll see in Wednesday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Get a preview on the 21 ordinance debate being held Wednesday night.
Also, see why UI hospital visits are going down and clinic visits are going up.
Well, that's tonight's edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to watch us tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.